Hey guys, I'm here with the director of the Illinois Department of Natural Resources, Mark Miller. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing great, Dan.
Thanks for talking to me today.
Thank you.
You know, as a deer hunter, I have a lot of conversations with guys that talk about the condition of the Illinois deer herd. You know, some guys say that they're seeing more deer than ever. Some guys say they're seeing fewer bucks. There's just all different kinds of opinions. Would you mind giving us just a quick overview of the current state of the herd here in Illinois?
Absolutely. Well, I think that the deer herd is still doing well. You know, in 2008, before I became director, there was a deer population task force who set the goal for the agency of reducing the deer herd by 14%. And in a short period of time, in fact, just this year, we've acknowledged that we've met that goal from 2008, and the agency is going to reassess its goals and figure out what is needed for the management of the deer herd. So what we're going to do, because we have an open and transparent agency, and that's what I've been striving to do with our processes and with our interactions with constituents, I want to make sure that we're including constituents, deer hunters and others who have a stake in deer management, and try to ascertain, determine what the next steps are for the deer herd. So we're at a point right now where we're starting to change how we're going to manage the deer herd.
I see.
And you know what that could mean is fewer counties that have late winter seasons. We might even reduce the number of permits that we give out. But we're going to determine that after we determine what our goals are. We need to have the public provide us input on our goals, and then we can figure out what tools we can use to achieve those goals.
I see. What do you guys know how you're going to go about that involving the public and that feedback?
Well, you're asking me at a time when we haven't quite determined what we're going to do. But you know, the good news is that we have a lot of tools of gathering information. We have hunter surveys that we've used. We have the internet, Facebook. We have a lot of different ways that we can have public meetings if that will be efficient, and something we be able to pull off with our staffing levels the way they are. We can do all of those things and try to make sure that everyone is involved and have an open process. We were talking about getting started in June with this process and allowing people their opportunity to provide us with what they think and what they see. And I also want to say, I mean, you've talked to deer hunters. I am a deer hunter, and you know there are a lot of things that go into a successful season for somebody, and just like well, deer hunting is local. We try to manage on a county level, and what guys see in their particular area is a very localized management issue. And we try to break it down by county, but we really can't go much further than that because of the complexity of the problems there.
Sure.
But you know, we want to hear what people are saying. We are going to hear. We expect to hear that there are going to be regional issues, and we'll try to do our best to manage for the county and for the region.
I see. Yeah, I know that you guys manage the state as a whole, but to kind of drill down in that to some county-specific management, really makes sense,
right,
given the diversity with the deer densities in the different counties
and habitat,
sure,
and what kind of hunting pressure there is as well. I mean, you have to factor in all of that. The other thing I would say is a lot of people expect us to manage down to the township or to the section, and we can't do that. That's the landowner's responsibility.
Sure.
That's the or in case of a state property, that's our responsibility for a state conservation area or fish and wildlife area. But for the most part, that's going to be the landowner's responsibility. I also think too that there's been a number of changes that have happened in deer hunting that we're seeing some different patterns or different habits out there amongst the deer. I think those need to be taken into account as well. I mean, there are much more food plots, many more food plots than there were 7, 8 years ago. And that could affect some of what people are seeing. But we have a good handle on the deer herd numbers, and they have been reduced from where they were back in 2008. So it also shows us too is that if we're given a goal, we can use these management tools and be able to achieve those goals. Now, if the public tells us that we want to maintain the deer herd and continue to have a harvest that's basically one-to-one for bucks to does, and we're going to continue. We're going to be able to do that very effectively. But we also have in mind there are many different constituencies that want to see reductions and constituencies that want to see increases. You also have the thing we have to also do is provide more opportunities for people to hunt. We want to be able to provide people with an opportunity for them to go out and enjoy the outdoors and to go out and sit and stand or blind and be able to have that opportunity. So we have to balance all of these things, and hopefully we'll be able to come out with something that will work for as many people as possible.
Sure. I mean, I live right here in Will County, and we've got some fantastic properties to hunt, state-run properties.
Right.
This Plains Conservation Area, Goose Lake Prairie, Heideke Park, Kankakee State Park. I mean, they're a stone's throw, a ton of deer, and just really well managed. I remember I started hunting with my dad when I was, about knee high, and he would tell me stories that, back in the early 70s, guys were lucky if they would even see a deer. They'd go out and he'd get all excited when he'd see a track in the dirt, and deer hunting has come a long way since then, and I mean that's a kudos to the state and the management tactics that you guys have implemented, and I think it's great that you're going to get some hunter feedback before you guys start
figuring out what to do
next direction. Yeah, that's great.
If you don't mind, I'd like to say a few words about where we've come from.
Sure.
I mean, if you think about just where we've been in a couple of maybe 3 or 4 generations, if I go that far back. But 1900 we closed off hunting around that time frame because there were no deer to hunt, and the state reopened deer hunting in 1957. And just as far back as my father, it's like yours, back in the 70s, they would consider it a successful season if they got to see a doe, a buck, or something. And when you look at our harvest numbers over the last several decades, I mean, you see something really interesting. I mean, in the 80s, we're harvesting well under 100,000 deer. I mean, we're talking 50, 60, 70. We see exponential growth of harvest over time. And in the 2000s, we had tremendous harvest numbers. I think there were a lot of deer on the landscape, and hunters responded with opportunities. And what we want to try to do, our goal, is to have a healthy, sustainable herd, and we want to be able to provide opportunities for people and try to manage all the different aspects of wildlife. It's something that over time has been tremendous to see that restoration, that deer have come back and provided this sport for people, and now we want to make sure we maintain that and keep the herd healthy for future generations.
Cool. I think it's important for hunters to know that hunting is a privilege. It's not a right. And we're very fortunate that we have the opportunity to hunt white-tailed deer here in Illinois. And it's no big shock that we have guys flocking in from all over the country. I used to hunt out in Western Illinois, out of Macomb, and each year we would see more and more. You see a license plate from Michigan once in a while, but then we start seeing Pennsylvania, New York, Georgia, Texas. I mean, Illinois has become just a whitetail mecca, which is, I don't know how well that is for us residents, but, fortunately, like I said, we still have, public hunting opportunities and leases and things like that. So it's, again, kudos to the Illinois Department of Natural Resources and, the job that you and I'm sure your biologists do, throughout the year to help provide that resource. Mark, if guys wanted to stay in touch with some of the outreach and information and ways that they can provide feedback, what's the best way for them to do that? Just visit the website?
Well, of course, visit the website dnr.illinois.gov. But I also want to encourage people to sign up for our Facebook page. If you're on Facebook, search out Illinois DNR, Department of Natural Resources. You'll be able to find that. We do have an active Facebook page, but we're also on Twitter So most of the press releases that we put out, which would contain something like how to get involved in the public participation, that's also on the Twitter page. I myself don't tweet, but I know that we've got people working on that. But the Facebook page, the website, Twitter are all ways to keep in touch with us, and I would encourage people to start using those tools. We also, when you go online and register for a deer tag, we do capture your email address and try to send out relevant notices to you there. So I would imagine that when we get a chance, we're going to send an email to those deer hunters that we have and let them know what's going on so that they can be involved in the process.
Fantastic. Director Miller, thank you so much for the update.
Thank you for having me on.
You bet.